But to help get you locked in for today's action, let's send it back out to the track with my guys, Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and D-Dub, Darrell Walter. Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Let's go racing, boys.
Thanks, Mike. Well, rain earlier kind of dampened everybody's enthusiasm, but they got the track dry, and we got a full round of practice in for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at a track that is just steeped in tradition. When Bill Elliott made his first start here 3 decades ago, nobody knew who that young redhead from North Georgia was. He became a Hall of Famer. His son, Chase, there he is, little boy, some time ago. Now, he's all grown up, and he's a NASCAR champion of the Xfinity Series. He's going to make his Sprint Cup debut right here this weekend if he can qualify this afternoon. How much pressure, Darrell, on this young man's shoulders?
A lot of pressure, but one thing I like about this kid, he's just like his dad, cool under fire. And if you're going to come to this tough little racetrack, there's no better team to come here with than the Hendrick Motorsports team. They got 22 wins here. He's got a veteran crew chief in Kenny Francis. Watch for this kid. I think he will surprise you. He's been really good on short tracks all his career, and this is one of those kind of places where you need that kind of experience. Keep an eye on that 25 car.
But first he needs to qualify, and that comes up here at the top of the hour. And the team that's been all but impossible to beat, Hendrick Motorsports and their affiliates, Larry.
Yeah, as Darrell mentioned, 22 wins. Here's Jeff Gordon that has 8 wins here. Finished second to Dale Earnhardt Jr. last fall. You know this 24 car, 44 starts here. He's one everyone will be watching. His teammate, Jimmy Johnson, he also has 8 wins here. And both these drivers were well inside the top 10 during that practice session earlier.
So we're getting ready to qualify here, and qualifying is doubly important. It's not just starting position, but it's also your choice of pit position, and that can be crucial to victory here. In practice earlier today, former road racer A.J. Allmendinger picked up the second fastest time in practice, and there's a look at Allmendinger's number 47, and Ryan Newman, the Rocket, had the fastest practice speed at all for Richard Childress Racing. So could one of them, or maybe some surprise, take this pole?
Well, you mentioned that cherished number 1 pit stall down there. Almost every race that's been won here has been won out of that pit box. It's such a huge advantage, and that's what makes qualifying this afternoon so important. And that's why we could see a surprise. I don't know if Allmendinger can hang in there or not, but we got Martin Truex Jr., who's 5th quick. You go down the line, you got Paul Menard, who could surprise all of us. And Casey Mears, there's some guys with this kind of format that might surprise us.
And 2 drivers that's already won races this year, the Team Penske Ford drivers, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. This place has not been that good to them. They've never won here, but both of them were fast in practice session early.
That's right. The Penske Fords were both in the top 10 in practice. Now, who was missing from the top speeds? The Toyotas. Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin just outside the top 10. Really didn't show pole-winning speed, but we'll find out when it's all on the line in the 3-round knockout qualifying that we'll have for you here on Fox Sports 1 at the top of the hour. Mike? Welcome to Martinsville Speedway, where we're getting ready to run for the pole for Sunday's STP 500. Been a chilly day here for Sprint Cup drivers, crews, and their fans. But the track is dry and everybody is ready to go under heavy skies. It's time for NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying on Fox Sports 1, all part of Fast Friday, presented by K&N. 45 cars and drivers at the ready. A little bit of a surprise in practice as Ryan Newman and A.J. Allmendinger took the top 2 spots. The Hendrick drivers, though, poised to run for the pole. And there are not 4, there are 5 Hendrick cars here, including one for that young man, a rookie, Chris Neville.
Qualifying for his first Sprint Cup race, and Chase, you were 29th in the first practice today. How'd you feel after that practice?
I felt okay, I guess. Long ways to go, but definitely I feel like I learned a lot as we went. So I didn't make a lot of changes on the car, just more me trying to go faster and do my job a little better. So this is a different world here, and happy to be here, and hopefully we can get in the show.
Have fun.
All right, we'll try.
Chase Elliott among the 45 drivers ready to go here. Heavy skies, laden with clouds, and the temperature has dropped. It's now down to 46 degrees. The concrete in the corners will be 57. when we get ready to roll.
And the thing I think you'll see is, what, Larry, maybe on your third lap, probably get out and make a warm-up lap, maybe a hot lap, and then about your third or fourth lap will be your fastest lap.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like in practice the pattern was about the fourth lap on the set of tires, and that's more just air pressure buildup and heat in the tires.
Right, it won't be lap 1 or lap 2, and for the first time here, we will have 3 rounds of qualifying. There were 2 rounds at the short tracks last year. Let's visit with last year's race winner here. Here's Jamie Little.
Well, Kurt Busch has been on a roll certainly here, now back at Martinsville, the race you won a year ago. What are your expectations this time around now that things are a little bit different with the rules package?
Yeah, the rules, with the way there's less downforce and less horsepower, we'll have to see how that plays out. And, with practice today being shoved back in the day, with the rain this morning, feels like we're not quite in that rhythm yet. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's practices, really getting some good long runs in on the Haas Automation Chevy, and we'll see how it all plays out. I think the cars are going to end up looser this time around, as odd as that sounds, because of the entry and the exits right now that have already shown the trouble spots. So the car wants to get a little sideways in and a little sideways on corner exits, so we got to manage those spots on the track, and we'll see if we can advance through these rounds today.
All right, we'll see if Kurt Busch can get the pole for the second time in his career.
Thanks, Jamie. One thing that did not happen during either Sprint Cup or truck practice is the track did not rubber in. Those concrete corners look very clean as we get ready for Sprint Cup qualifying. Welcome back to Martinsville, where for the first time we'll have 3 rounds of knockout qualifying and a little tweak to the timing of the format. Round 1 will be 20 minutes, previously 15. Round 2, 10 minutes. Round 3, 5 minutes. You can run as many laps as you want, go out as many times as you want. The cars are lined up differently here than in the past. We'll get to that in a bit. First, Chris Neville.
Jeff Gordon has 7 poles and 8 wins here. And Jeff, a lot of importance this weekend about qualifying up front because of this pit lane. How tough is this pit lane in the race?
7 poles, really? I'd forgot about that. It seems like it's been forever since we sat on a pole here, but the qualifying is extremely important. I mean, obviously we've been able to win here without being on the pole, but it definitely makes it more challenging. Pit road is, there's very few opportunities to have a good pit stall here, and there's nothing better than that number 1 pit stall. So I think everybody was pushing hard at practice just in case we didn't get qualifying in, and we had a strong race car with this Exalted Chevrolet, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity here. With 3 rounds, it's gonna be one of the most unique qualifying sessions we've ever had here, and we're pushing extremely hard to try to get that pole so we can get that number 1 stall.
Jeff Gordon, 3rd quick in practice today.
Who's won the most poles at Martinsville Speedway? How about that?
Hello. Been a while since I won a pole here.
Jeff Gordon could tie that record today. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he couldn't get to sleep last night. He was so excited about coming back to Martinsville, having a shot at another grandfather clock. Now, look at the way these cars are lined up all the way to the driver who drew the number 1 pill in the qualifying order. That's Chris Buescher. All the way back. I mean, if you're anywhere in the second half of this group, going out when you want to is not going to be an option.
Well, just getting a clear lap here is going to be tough. With all these cars trying to get a clear lap, particularly when we know you got to run 2 or 3 to get max speed. So that's going to be a chore in and of itself.
But I think that's the reason they added 5 minutes to the first round.
Everybody all taped up, and the first few cars begin to roll. Chris Buescher, A.J. Allmendinger, Paul Menard rolling out. Now, at most tracks, the first lap or the second lap will be the money lap. But in practice earlier today, most of the top 10 cars ran their fastest lap on lap 4 once they got tires, brakes, and everything up to temperature.
Yeah, now watch the cars, because the warm-up lap, the first lap on sticker tires, it's like being on ice. You slip, you slide, you get sideways. It takes a couple of laps to get heat in the tires. The track surface, the concrete surface, only 57 degrees, so there's no heat in the track to help you.
Jeff Burton's on track, Tony Stewart, Ron Hornaday.
Now, Mike, one thing that can happen on pit road, if you want to pull out a line, you can, but you have to go out on the racetrack. That's what Tony Stewart in that 14 car did just a second ago.
Yeah, everybody, Larry, is kind of Carl Edwards over in the 19 car. He is sitting there. He's just waiting for an opening. He's trying to find a clear spot so he knows he can get a couple of good laps in. And that's what most of these guys will do. They'll use as much time as they can before they have to go on the track.
Tony Stewart with a 20:55. That is the fastest first lap. Chris Buescher on lap 2 ran 20:18.
Stewart jumped to the top, and then Chris Buescher jumped back again at a 1986, and that's his third lap. Again, to our point earlier, probably the third or fourth lap.
A.J. Allmendinger on lap 3, 1969. Paul Menard second.
That 47 car is, he's quick in practice. Stewart back to the top with a 1961.
Boy, Allmendinger, what a lap for him. 1942, he goes back to the top.
And that's his fourth lap. That's the lap we expect will be the money lap. Here is Stewart completing his fourth lap. He is second to Allmendinger by 6 100ths. Menard another 3 100ths back. Allmendinger's going to run a fifth lap. Will it be quicker? No. There's a fall off on that fifth lap.
Yeah, about the third lap should be the ideal lap.
But Paul Menard in the 27 did run quicker on his fifth lap. It just has to do, I think, with what air pressure you start with.
That's the big thing, is how much air you got in the tires when you leave pit road.
Chris Buescher's fifth lap was faster. His sixth lap was slower.
Now, Allmendinger, back in the 47 car, ran a sixth lap, and he was quicker on that sixth lap. I think he maybe just missed the corner a little bit on that fifth lap.
Well, beautiful. And also, as we've talked, it's cooler now than when they practiced earlier in the day. The temperature has been dropping.
Yeah, normally when we qualify here, we'll pump the tires way up. We're only going to run 3 laps. But this deal here, you can go out with something low air pressure, get a lot of good grip, and let the pressures come up naturally, and that would make you have some fast laps.
Ron Hornaday's sixth lap is his fastest. Landon Castle getting up to speed.
Darrell, I believe Carl Edwards and Joey Logano, I believe they're sitting there hoping that maybe a little bit of rubber goes down on this track, or maybe these cars put a little bit of heat in these corners. I think that's the reason they're just sitting there and waiting it out.
But, the other, I don't understand. If you're sitting way up there in turn 1, and, we're talking about cars that are still in line all the way back here to coming off turn 4, and there's Jimmy Johnson, a whole bunch of guys back here. Do they know they can pull out and go around these guys?
Well, they've been getting pulled out, and they've been seeing it happen. So
there goes Trevor Bayne. He pulled out a line. He's going to go past 25 cars to punch his ticket to qualify. You're riding with him.
Boy, I just don't know about sitting here like this and waiting. I guess you're going to get one run. That's it.
Eric Almirola. His first lap was a 20:80. Again, the fastest first lap I've seen was Tony Stewart at 20:55.
And Darrell, to your point about waiting, with these drivers having to take their cars to the garage area, you know, we always talk about how long it takes to get back to the start-finish line from pit road. This is a totally different issue here.
Well, and they added, they added 5 minutes to this session. So what do the guys do? They set for 5 minutes.
Some do.
Come on, man.
Some do. Jeff Burton has run 2 laps. 1989. Almirola fourth quickest, and his fourth lap is off from his third just a bit.
But he's going to go ahead and run a fifth lap like we saw A.J. Allmendinger do earlier.
Wow, Josh Wise top 5 with a 1960 on his fourth lap.
I would love this kind of qualifying because it was the hardest thing in the world to do is leave pit road at this racetrack particularly and try to hit your marks and get the tire pressure build up and get a fast lap.
Whoa, Kyle Larson second on his fifth lap with a 1944.
Yes, sir. You just go out there and you run until you're happy.
Some of these fellas are going to be out there a long time. Now Brad Keselowski, the first of the Penske Fords, and Carl Edwards in his Gibbs Toyota. Getting up to speed. Want to say hello to J.D. Gibbs, president of Joe Gibbs Racing, taking some time away from the racetrack to deal with some health issues. Want to wish him well.
Keselowski getting awfully close to Carl Edwards in that 19 car.
Carl's first lap was way off. It was 23-something. Just taking it gingerly to get things up to temperature. Is he in Brad's way?
Yeah. Here at this racetrack, there's no draft, obviously, and it's a distraction. When you have a car that close in front of you, it's a big distraction. Matter of fact, it's an irritant.
Well, no question. Carl Edwards in that 19, that had to hurt Brad Keselowski's lap right there. He actually slowed down a little bit on that lap, and I think Brad's going to pretty much go in.
Wow. So Keselowski right now is 6th with a 1957.
I think Brad looked at that situation and said, well, I just want to advance, and that ought to do it. I'll try to find a clearer lap next time, because Carl came out just in front of Brad. Carl Edwards in the 19 came out in front of Keselowski in the 2 there, just enough to mess him up.
Edwards 1985, and here's Danica Patrick 1972 on her second lap.
Yeah, the irony of that whole deal with Brad Keselowski, he rode around 2 laps trying to find a clean
And Carl waited 5 minutes before he went out, so those plan, neither one worked out very well.
But I like to think, I mean, you would have to expect, here's Carl, top dozen in practice, you'd have to expect he was going to get a good lap. And he didn't, and that did not work for Brad.
Did not.
You know who really just jumped up there was Danica Patrick in that 10 car, jumped up to 5th.
At a 1951.
Hey, guys, remember she had
3rd.
She had a pretty good run here.
Yes.
Finished, what? She finished top 10, didn't she?
1945 for Danica. Jimmy Johnson out now. Chase Elliott has run 1 lap at a 21.84.
He's just getting some heat.
Pickup.
He's getting some heat in the tires.
Working lap 2 here, working 2.
That's what you want to know. Just almost like the qualifying says where you come get the green this time by.
Kurt Busch has completed 1 lap.
There, to answer your question, actually, Danica finished 12th here, her first trip here after starting at the rear and spinning out twice.
So Chase Elliott, 1990 on lap 2. Now, he is one of 2 drivers that must make the top 36, must qualify on time or go home. Ron Hornaday is the other. That's because of a lack of owner points, and he'll do it handily. Ninth. Yeah. 1958 for Chase Elliott. So I think we can say with certainty that he will race Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, this kid's going to be good here. I know he's a rookie, and I know he's 19 years old, but he's going to run good here. I just know that.
Jimmy Johnson up to 6th on his 3rd lap.
Kurt Busch, the 41 car, won this race a year ago.
He's completed 3 laps in 18th, and he's going to jump up to 10th on his 4th lap. Jimmy Johnson, does he go to the pole?
The man.
Well, it's not the pole, but it's fastest in round 1, yes.
That's good. That is good.
1937. Come on, Chad. Hey, be a cheerleader.
Yeah, that's a compliment from Brad. That was good. Or you know what, from Chad.
You know what good meant when my dad said it? Try a little harder.
Yeah, try a little harder next time. Yeah.
We all had the same dad, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, sir.
Never was quite good enough.
Kurt Busch is going to try to run a 6th lap here. Right now, he jumped up to 9th. His last lap was his quickest at a 19.544.
And he drops off 2/1000ths is all, but no pickup. All right, here's Jamie McMurray. Jamie was good in practice. He's run 2 laps already. Oh, he's going to get up against Matt Kenseth, who we're get going here.
Yeah, that's going to mess up that lap.
Yep, because Kenseth hasn't run as many laps. And McMurray, though, goes to 7th, 1951 on his 3rd lap.
And that was on his 3rd lap. That's a pretty good 3rd lap.
Very good.
I feel right now, I'm just trying to look as we're halfway through this first round. Anything below a 60, I think you're good to advance.
Now, because Matt Kenseth was just getting up to speed, he couldn't carry the kind of corner speed that McMurray could on warm tires.
Yeah, here we are with Kevin Harvick, and right now Harvick's got a little work to do. He's 14th.
But he's only run 2 laps.
He's coming to it. Yeah, hopefully this probably be his money lap, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, 19.48 jumps to 7th.
There you go.
Chevrolets right now have all the top 8 positions. So now here's Matt Kenseth, who is 9th, the first non-Chevrolet in the order. 1952 on his 3rd lap, and this one could be better.
I remember Matt not liking this place, and then he went over there with Gibbs and got in those Toyotas, and he said, wow, I actually like Martinsville pretty well.
Justin Allgaier coming up to speed. Matt Kenseth jumped 1 spot to 8th with a 1949.
Here's Ryan Newman that was quickest in that earlier practice. He's only run 2 laps so far. I think right now he's just trying not to abuse the tires and goes to the 4th lap.
Matt Kenseth.
That's good. That's good.
No, that's very good. That's fastest so far.
That's really good.
1933.
I would put a really in front of that good.
And he ran 5 laps. And Newman jumped up to 9th on lap 3 at a 1950.
Money lap here. Green light for Ryan Newman. Can he take over the top spot?
Ooh. Started going the wrong direction right in the middle of turn 3 and 4.
Still a good lap, though, 3rd.
1939.
Let me try another one here.
Newman, the first 3 cars in the 30s. Kenseth's fastest lap was his 5th. Newman is working his 5th lap right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going the wrong way, though, on this lap for Ryan Newman.
Justin Allgaier, 17th.
Cool looking car. I like all that paint on that job.
Now he's run 5 laps.
Crap.
But the 6th lap has been the money lap for Allgaier, Patrick, and Menard. Joey Logano. Fastest Ford in practice.
He was flirting with the green.
He lost a little time there in the middle of 3 and 4. Didn't the car got up the track a little bit, but he didn't lose much.
2nd on only his 3rd lap.
And Mike, it wasn't that long ago. It was all Chevrolet drivers up there at the top. Now it's a Toyota driver and a Ford driver that's won 2.
Now Logano could probably go faster on lap 4 or 5, but you've got 2 more rounds of qualifying to go. Save those tires.
He'll go faster, just not right now.
Yeah, he knows that 19.34 is safe.
That's safe.
2 drivers will go home from this session, and we've changed the ticker now to 24th position, so this is the difference of each remaining driver to Trevor Bayne, who would be the last driver to advance. 36 drivers have taken time of the 45 entered. And of the 2 drivers who must make the race on time, Chase Elliott appears to be comfortably in. Ron Hornaday may still be in jeopardy here.
It's so much better to qualify this way at this racetrack, because I'm telling you, this place used to drive you crazy when you'd go out and the tires wouldn't hook up those first laps. When you were coming to get the green, you thought, what have I got myself into? Here you got a couple of laps to get the car up under you and make some good time.
Martin Truex to 10th. That bumps Trevor Bayne out of the top 24. Landon Castle on the bubble.
Now this is a track that I would expect Clint Boyer to run with. He loves these short tracks. He loves Martinsville. He's had a shot at winning this thing a couple of times.
He had this race won a year ago and had the bad stop last trip to pit road.
5th for Martin Truex. That sounded like a downshift to me.
He's coming into pits.
Maybe not.
Casey Mears way in the green. There you see Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, all of our drivers right now inside the green.
Well, Gordon will be tough. He's going to be really tough here this weekend. He loves Martinsville. Got 8 wins here. Put a little money on him.
Casey Mears went to 10th with that lap that we were riding there just a second ago.
So that bumps Castle, Jeb Burton, Biffle, and Wise, and moves Boyer to the bubble.
Now Jeff Gordon is 24. He went to 8th, and he only ran 3 laps. And you can see, I think the minute they told him that on the radio, he pulled it in the garage.
Oh yeah, they're going to save a little bit.
Daryl, I thought a 1959 was going to get you in, but right now that's pretty much a 57's back there on the bubble.
And that's Brad Keselowski.
That's crazy.
There's
from
the Biff.
A 59 to a 33. That's the difference. 2 tenths.
Greg Biffle in with a 52. Trying to move up from there. Casey Kane goes to 6th with a 1941. Keselowski still on the bubble. Ricky Stenhouse.
Now, with the number of laps that you need to run and how long it takes to come out of the garage area, if you're going to make another run, that's going to have to happen here within the next 2-3 minutes as we're down to about 4.5 minutes to go.
See what Dale Jr.'s got here. He's usually pretty fast. Got to get some heat in those tires. Good build up.
This is only his 2nd lap.
Yeah, you got to get a little more heat in the tires, get a little air pressure build up, nail that throttle. Nice and straight up off the corner this time, been a little loose in the last couple of laps. Hooks the bottom, back in the gas. What did he do?
Made it 1955, but he only made it to the bubble. That bumps Brad Keselowski.
Got to get back on that gas a little wee bit quicker. Laying out a little too long. Let's see if he can pick it up this time. A little late. Got a little wheel spin up off 4, too.
Picked up 1 spot ahead of Chase Elliott.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just jumped up to 13.
Yep, 13.
You know, this little team's been, they've been showing a little promise the last couple of weeks.
Now, Chase Elliott's been bumped out of the top 24, but still comfortably in the field for Sunday.
Well, I think if anybody could beat the Hendrick cars, this guy right here is the guy that can get it done.
Earnhardt to 14th as we watch Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin loves this racetrack. He's overdue. They've been running a little bit better. Now keep an eye on that guy.
Denny Hamlin 23rd on his 5th lap, just inside that top 24 to 1953.
So Kurt Busch has been knocked out. Michael Annett and Carl Edwards goes to the bubble.
Looking at Austin Dillon here, if you were watching practice earlier, we thought he may have had an engine issue. It was a seal problem. They did not have to change engines in that 3 car.
Hamlin up to 9th out of 44.
Brad Keselowski pulled out of the garage and he just drove by everyone.
Going to be a wreck. Big wreck. Caution, 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 caution.
Ron Hornaday
killed that thing.
Who had to qualify on speed. Came out to make another run because Hornaday was 41st and in danger of going home, and now he's headed home with this.
The good news is for all the drivers still trying to make runs, you can see right there the clock has stopped at 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah, Ron had run a lot of laps. He had run 14 laps. But if you're scrambling, trying to get out of the garage area, back out there to make another run, the clock stopping is a good thing.
And there's nobody better on the short track than Ron Hornaday. This is his wheelhouse right here. So for him to have trouble, car just had to be not real good for him. Let's see if we can see what happened. Yeah, that thing just locked up. He started getting on the brakes, locking up the tires way before he got to the corner.
And I think, Mike, to your point, that's just trying all you can try to get in this race.
That's it. That's a tough break for a small single-car team. Now, Brad Keselowski was on track when this happened. Is that another heat cycle on his tires as he tries to make the top 24?
I'm not sure the heat in the tires is a bad thing.
Anywhere else, I'd say, oh, yeah, this is going to, but it really doesn't matter here.
But he cannot catch a break. No, but Carl Edwards and now this.
You're trying to get heat in your tires here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Chris Neville.
Chase Elliott dropping away at top 27th right now, and Chase Elliott going to try and make a second run here. When he came back in, he told the guys that the car was pretty good, if anything, just a little bit loose entering the corner, but he said that's more my driving right now, trying to get used to this Cup car. So they didn't make any changes. They just cooled that car off.
Thanks, Chris. Now, 2 drivers have not yet made a lap. Brett Moffitt and Matt DiBenedetto. NASCAR officials looking up in turns 3 and 4 where Ron Hornaday impacted the safer barrier. And there's fluid on the track, so we'll get that cleaned up and be right back. When somebody says NASCAR is nothing but a bunch of bumper cars, you know they've been to Martinsville.
I believe that happened.
Wonder why kids at all these short tracks think that if they can get to your rear bumper, they can get your spot.
And they're teammates now, and they were teammates then when that happened, Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth.
Todd and Joey sharing a laugh. Well, they're already in the chase after Joey's Daytona 500 win.
I think
and Brad Keselowski's buzzer beater last week.
He'll be smiling like that all year long after Daytona.
And Joey's safely in that second round. Jamie.
Well, Kurt Busch, you know, he had the pole a week ago, a little bit different story this time around. He's saying the car just won't turn. It's lazy tight, and I feel like it's just going to step out on me at any point. You see him taking a left here, moving out of the way. They want to try one more chance because they're on the outside looking in. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick in the Ford, they were debating if they should go for it again and risk not making the next round.
Well, that's a tough question, Jamie, because Harvick is 19th right now. Are there 5 drivers that can go faster than him? I'm not sure.
I don't know. You've had time to sit down there, think about it. And this joint here is one of those places where mentally you got to go out there, be prepared to make a lap. And sitting down there and getting a little time to think about what you might have done wrong on your last run could really help you on this run.
You see Carl Edwards is 24th. He's on the bubble to advance. Sam Hornish is 36th. He is the last car right now in the race on time trial speed, not having to take a provisional.
See Kurt Busch and Chase Elliott both tracking in the green.
Chase makes it and gets bumped right away by Kurt Busch, who gets bumped right away by Greg Biffle.
Down to a minute and a half left in this round here. We have about
Look at this. Who gets bumped by Brad Keselowski? Almirola on the bubble now.
Keselowski finally got a clean lap in, I think.
Boy, just barely.
And he's 11th, so Almirola has to come back out with 1:15 to go.
Carl Edwards jumped to 10th in that 19 car.
Chase Elliott trying to bump back in.
Looking pretty good.
Almirola on the bubble. Still.
Not much better. I thought he had a pretty good lap going there. Got a minute to go, guys.
Got a minute to cross the line and start your final lap. Eric Almirola, 1952. He's on the hot seat. At the other end of the chart, Trevor Bayne is 36th. Last car to make it in on time.
And all the drivers sitting on pit road right now, they're just sitting there because it's drivers that's just inside the top 24.
Yeah, Allgaier sitting down there in the 51 car. He's 18th, so I think he's all right. He got 30 seconds to go.
Almirola hanging on. David Reagan trying to improve from 19th. Kevin Harvick has dropped to 21st, but is still safe. 15 seconds to start your final lap.
And right now, Eric Almirola is in, and he picked it up a little bit. Yeah,
jumps to 19th. That moves McMurray onto the hot seat. See if he can start his lap in time, and no.
Shut it down.
McMurray did not make it under the flag. And Austin Dillon right now is on the hot seat at 1951.
You are P24 right there. P20. That's good.
Just made it. So yeah, Dillon will be the last car to advance.
Yeah, he slowed down on that lap there, but he was inside the top 24. And boy, Kevin Harvick in that Ford just barely creeps in the top 24 at 23rd.
So Harvick is safe, 23rd. Made it by that little. So we'll sort out who starts in positions 25 and down in a moment. Welcome back to Sprint Cup qualifying, round one of, for the first time, 3 rounds at Martinsville. His history, let's take a look at who earned starting positions 25th on back. Greg Biffle, Kurt Busch. Chase Elliott's in the show. He'll start 27th, making his Sprint Cup debut. So the top 36, here are the provisional starters. And based on car owner points, Brendan Gaughan and Ron Hornaday will be the 2 drivers who do not make the field. Chris?
And Chase Elliott with a big smile on his face after that qualifying session. Pretty happy you got in the show here. You were a little bit anxious there before qualifying. You got to feel relieved.
Oh, definitely. That was goal number 1 to get in. So definitely a big relief for us. We're excited. And it's weird being excited about qualifying wherever we qualified, 27th. But we're in the show, first Sprint Cup Series race with Napa on board, and excited for Sunday.
Well done.
I know his dad's patrolling the pits. He's excited too. Jamie?
And Martin Truex Jr. sitting in the car waiting anxiously for the next round. Martin, we watched some of the cars, how difficult it can be for you guys when you come up on a car that's a little bit slower. So how do you time it for this next round?
It's really your spotter doing all the work up there, and I think the other thing, you got to be patient and wait for a hole. A lot of guys that got in trouble there were trying to jump on the racetrack and not wait in line where they came out. So we played it cool. We stayed patient, waited for a good hole, and my spotter up there, Clayton Hughes, does a good job for me.
Martin Truex Jr. on a heck of a roll. Top 10s in the first 5 races of the season, and he sits 5th now, Mike.
5th fastest in round 1. There are the spotters up on the roof. And looking at the top 24 who advanced, Joey Logano and Jeff Gordon appear to have the fewest laps on their tires.
Yeah, I like that position that Logano's in with 3 laps on his tires. They're just right on the verge of coming in for probably his best lap.
Getting ready for round 2 at Martinsville. Let's join Greg Wolf at the Fox Sports 1 news desk for an update. Getting ready for round 2 of a 3-round knockout qualifying, and the cars will leave from their garage stalls for round 2. Here are the fastest 24. We mentioned Logano and Gordon have only 3 laps on their tires. Johnson and Truex have 4, as well as Stewart and Harvick. Everybody else has more.
Yeah, anywhere from 4 to 6 is pretty common. The drivers that have the most laps on their tires, Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, Eric Almirola, they all have 9 laps on their tires. Austin Dillon has 8.
Now, they were lined up in the order of the random draw for qualifying for round 1. And after completing their run, cars went back to their garage stall where they are lined up by point standings. Now, for round 2, everyone will back out of their garage, and it's first come, first serve.
Mike, do you just notice the car sitting in the garage area? I mean, the rear quarter panel, the tip of the rear quarter panel is almost touching the ground. I mean, these cars are so low. It's amazing to me how they can get them to work the way they do.
I would not want to be standing behind these cars in that garage area as they back out, because this is only a 10-minute session here with 24 drivers.
Round 3 will be only 5 minutes with the fastest 12.
Look at those things. Like sweepers.
So this is truly where being high in the points would pay dividends, because that's where the drivers that are highest in points down at that end of the garage area where they're going out.
Right. At the end of the garage, they make this right turn, go alongside the track hospital, and then get out onto pit road right in front of the main grandstand near the entrance of turn 1. The pit exit is at turn 2. So Martin Truex, Ryan Newman in that order, then Jimmy Johnson, Paul Menard, and A.J. Allmendinger are the first group out.
And Truex is 3rd in the points. Ryan Newman's way up in the points. Jimmy Johnson's well up in the points in this 48, so they got out first.
Kind of like what Martin said, though, and it looked that way. Like, these guys talk about this before it ever. They don't just line up and say, go at free will. We're going to work together here and try everybody to get their best lap possible.
Now, how much heat do these cars still have in their tires from the first round?
Just right. These babies are just right now. They got a little heat in them, and they should be coming in. They should be at their premium.
Truex fastest, Newman second. Allmendinger now second.
Truex ran a 1967 on his first lap. Ryan Newman ran a 1995.
44 Truex did on that lap. Newman up to top in a 43.
Top 12 advance.
Keep an eye on that 48 car. He just ran a 51.
Truex ran a 1942, but here comes Jimmy Johnson that's tracking. Well, he was in the green till he got off the exit of 4.
Newman 1933 to Johnson's 1939.
Yeah, that 33 is about what Newman ran in practice.
Well, and that's faster than he ran in session 1. He ran a 39 in that first round.
Now that's still about 4/10 off the track record set by Joey Logano at this race last year. Here comes Johnson trying to beat Newman's 33.
38.
38.
Yep. There should be some juice left in these tires, though, if you only got 3 or 4 laps on them.
Yeah, Johnson keeps getting quicker, and he's going to run another lap in that 48 car.
You can see you need a lot of brakes. See the rotors glowing on the front there.
It's a 38 is the fastest. He ran a 48 right there, so he fell off a 10th. Casey Mears came out but did not complete a lap. Now he's rolling slow. Is he going to the garage or waiting to find a hole in traffic?
I would think he's trying to find a hole.
No,
needs a push.
Like got some problem.
All right, boys, might have to get it down here.
Might have to get a battery.
He has not completed a lap. Now, should he fail to do so, he would earn the 24th spot because he's already advanced to round 2. David Reagan.
You just saw his teammate Matt Kenseth in the 20 car. There he is. Of course, Matt was quickest in round 1 at a 19:33.
Kenseth goes from a 44 to a 41 and third fastest.
All 4 of the Joe Gibbs Toyota drivers made the top 24 after round 1.
David Reagan 7th. Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards coming out now, along with Casey Kane.
Riding with Harvick, he's 8th quick right here.
Kenseth up to 3rd with a 41 and backed up by a 42. Kane jumps into 3rd with a 41 with an 8.
Yeah, Kane just beat Kenseth by 1/1000ths, 41.8 and 41.9.
Carl Edwards to 6th. Casey Kane 3rd, going to run his 8th lap of qualifying here, and he falls off.
Carl Edwards slowed down that lap, but that lap right before this, in 1942, that was a little quicker than he ran in the first round.
So he is 6th right now. And now bumping will begin with David Reagan 12th. Denny Hamlin is 10th. And his 9th and 10th laps both slower than his 8th lap. Kyle Larson now.
You see over there on the right-hand side of your screen, Kevin Harvick kept making a run at it, but right now he's 11th with his 4 car.
Kyle Larson will slide there. Here comes Jeff Gordon.
See if Jeff was holding back anything on his run here. There's Danica. Pretty quick.
So David Reagan holds on to the 12th spot for now. With a 1956.
Comes Jeff Gordon to complete a lap.
Kyle Larson to 3rd, 1938. That knocks out Reagan. And Jeff Gordon trying to move up and into the top dozen and bump Harvick.
Just lost a little time off turn 4 that time.
2nd, 1936 for Gordon.
But not much.
Just that little hesitation right in the middle of the
twitch.
corner.
Saw that little twitch.
All right, we'll switch our graphic now comparing to the 12th fastest speed. So the green light will mean a driver who is in position to advance.
Really stepped out that time.
Coming to your right side.
Danica Patrick, 1954. That was her quickest lap. But she is a couple of spots away, as is teammate Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, now Danica didn't look that good getting into turn 1. Whoa, the 51 has got quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier got the wall after running the 17th fastest lap, and red flag is out for this.
Yeah. It's a pretty hard hit on that 51 car, both ends.
I would say that had the look of too much rear brake.
And let me correct and say that Danica Patrick is 12th. It's her teammate Kevin Harvick that is 2 spots away from making the transfer to the final round.
But again, this clock stopping, when I look at drivers like Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, David Reagan, gives them a chance to maybe get back out there and make one more run. We've got a little over 3.5 minutes to go.
Now, neither of the Penske cars have been out yet, Logano or Keselowski. Among others, 18 of the 24 eligible drivers have made at least one run here in round number 2, which will resume as soon as the red flag's lifted. The track reopens for round 2 of Sprint Cup qualifying. 3.5 minutes to go. Austin Dillon and the 2 Penske cars out there, among others. Now, Casey Mears went out on track trying to get up to speed. Did not make a lap, but listen to the sounds from the number 13.
Right here. All good, man. All good. Something come apart. I was getting ready to shift from 2nd to 3rd. Right when I shifted to 3rd, I thought I blew a motor because it hit the rev chip real bad, but I think its transmission blew apart, or drive line or axles or something.
Jamie Little's with Casey Mears.
Well, Casey, we just heard your radio. Did they diagnose it already? Do you know exactly what the problem is?
We're pretty sure it's transmission because the gear's intact and all the axles are in it and drive shaft's sitting there. So I think we might have broke something in the transmission, but it broke every gear. So something major broke. We had a really really fast race car too, because we ran that 40 the first run, and I kind of blew the lap. I slid left front tire into 3 and didn't really get a good run coming back to the line. So we knew going into this round we're going to be able to run a 30 or better. And it's unfortunate because we had a really, really good car. But I'm proud of our Geico guys. We've had speed at every track this year. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be starting in the back, and this is a tough place to rebound from. But we got a fast car, so I'm looking forward to the race.
Thanks, Casey. Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. He will qualify 24th, but the transmission change means he will start in the back. Joey Logano just ran the 5th fastest lap of this session. Brad Keselowski just ran 12th, and that knocks Dale Earnhardt Jr. out of the top dozen.
Yeah, Brad slowed down on that last lap, but boy, he picked it up that lap to a 19:39. He goes to 5th, and he has 14 laps on the tires on that 2 car.
And he had a lot of heat in those front brake rotors too, Larry, and that builds up tire pressure in and of itself. So, yeah, he'd gotten all out of those tires. You're going to get out of those.
So here's Denny Hamlin trying to improve on 14th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to improve on 13th. Tony Stewart trying to move up from 19th, and Danica Patrick from 15th. Ricky Stenhouse logging his first laps of this session. One of 2 drivers left to take time.
Denny, the only driver to ever take Toyota to victory lane here at Martinsville. He's won here 4 times. Wow, Stewart.
Wow, second for Smoke. Tony Stewart, 1936. And that knocks out Paul Menard.
Okay, bring it to us. 36.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't run another lap.
And it moves Allmendinger onto the hot seat with a 43.
Larry, that's just adjusting the air pressure and making some tweaks on the car, and Stewart's able to put down the second fastest lap.
Now, Edwards is 11th. He's just looking for a little insurance. It's Allmendinger on the bubble. 30 seconds to go to start your lap. Menard's going to give it a try. He is 1 spot away with a 44. Danica Patrick pulls in after running a lap that is 16th quickest. And the Dinger slows down. Not quite a full second.
But Allmendinger's in right now at 12th.
Time is running out.
Time has expired. So finishing up is Paul Menard at a 51. And Allmendinger jumps to 4th with a 1938. So he will advance.
Well, the car's been fast all day long. Second quick in the first practice, in our initial practice, and now second here, or 4th here in this qualifying session. Nice job.
Austin Dillon going to be disappointed with a 57, as is Kevin Harvick. Has left the building, 17th.
Yeah, I've just not seen the speed out of that 4 car yet this weekend.
Denny Hamlin, 15th.
Yeah, I think Denny's going to, I think he's real disappointed with that. I thought he had a better car than that. I think he was looking to be in the top 5.
Dale Jr., 14th. We'll run them down for you and look forward to round 3. Ready for round 3. Here are positions 13 through 24. Casey Mears did not record a lap. And most of the top 4 on that list all tried to get a late lap, try to improve their position, and it didn't quite work out. Let's check in on 16th position. Here's Chris.
Yeah, Danica Patrick going to start back there in 16th on Sunday. And Danica, it sounded like you said the car was a bit darty under heavy throttle. Is that what you're going to be working on tomorrow?
I think a lot of the things that make it the way it is are sometimes just qualifying stuff. So you're doing whatever you can to get it to turn and roll through the corner as fast as possible. So it was a little bit loose in and a little bit darty in the center and on throttle. So I think that we just probably are trying to get it to rotate. Maybe too much, I don't know, but it was good to have a solid run for the TaxAct car. It's the first time they've been on the car, so as a full sponsor, so it'll give us a decent starting spot. I don't like the outside. I thought I was 15th, so it would have been nice to be 15th and not 16th, or first instead of second, but that's what we have to deal with, and we'll move forward, but everything's been pretty easy breezy so far.
Well, thanks, Danica. Jamie?
And Eric Almirola, 18th, and you just told me I typically don't qualify well, but we race well here. So how good is your race car for Sunday, do you think?
I don't know. We were in qualifying trim all day today, but I think here in October, we qualified like 36th or 37th, and by lap 100, we were up into the top 10. So our car typically races really well. We've got a pretty good race balance, and to be honest with you, my car all day today has drove really well. I was happy with the balance of our car there in qualifying. I lack a little bit of speed. I don't know where that 10th's going to come from, but in the race, as tires wear out and stuff, our car seems to come to us. So overall, I'm happy. We're starting like 18 spots better than we did in October. So the STP Ford Fusion's got a good head start for the STP 500 come Sunday.
You're the happiest driver that's not making it onto the third round. Eric Almirola, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. Now, for those of you tuning in for the UFC show, because of the rain delay earlier that pushed back practice and qualifying, we have 1 5-minute round left to go here at Martinsville to set the pole for the STP 500, and then the UFC show will begin. Here's today's K&N driver profile. It's on the number 78, Vienna, New Jersey's Martin Truex, one of only 3 drivers who finished in the top 5 in all 5 races this year.
And what a difference a year makes, Mike. A year ago, after 5 races, he did not have a single top 10 finish and was 30th in the points. Now he's 3rd.
This single car team has come a long way. It's one of 2 in the final round. The other is JTG Doherty with A.J. Allmendinger. They advanced. 1 car from Richard Childress Racing, 3 from Hendrick, 1 from Stuart Haas, 1 from Chip Ganassi, 2 from Penske, and 2 from Joe Gibbs Racing. Let's show you the top dozen from round 2. And most importantly is that column of total laps on their tires.
I like the Ryan Newman car, 9 laps, and look at Jeff Gordon. I think he might be sitting in the catbird seat.
Now those are laps during round 2, not total laps for both sessions. But those are round 2 laps. Joey Logano with the least amount of all.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon has 9. Joey Logano only has 7. And as far as the most laps, you got Edwards with 21, Keselowski with 19, Allmendinger 20, and Tony Stewart with 18.
5 minutes on Virginia Lottery Poll Day to see who wins the Coors Light Poll for the STP 500.
Who's your pick? Who's your pick, Larry? Who's your pick, Mike?
I'm not going to rule out that car that we just saw pull out of that garage here, Ryan Newman. He was fastest in practice. He was fastest right there. And it's actually been 49 races since Ryan Newman sat on a pole.
I think it's going to be that guy right there.
Big Daddy.
I think he's got what it takes.
I think you're probably right. But looking at the top 5, the driver who most needs something really good to happen to his season, Tony Stewart.
He was pretty strong in that second session.
Second fastest.
We shall see.
All right, 5 minutes. It only takes 19.5 seconds to get around this place. So you've got time for several laps, which will be the money lap, and who will get it done?
I just go and run until they threw the checkered flag this time.
But that's the reason some of these drivers, especially the ones up in points like Logano and Truex, jumped out there. Maybe that gives them an opportunity to make a second run, especially Joey, who doesn't have that many laps on his tire.
It's going to be so hard to do, to come in, go back in the garage, get back out. I mean, you know, I think you just give it all you got right here.
Now, Logano was one of the late goers in the first 2 rounds. And in round 3, he is the first on the track. He's also the fastest.
Digging, baby. He's digging.
Yeah, 1933. Martin Truex jumps to 1932. He's at the top.
It's going to be obviously going to be very close. A 32 and a 33. Newman is 36.
Now remember, Logano has 2 less laps on his tires than Truex. Will that be the difference?
It's a big difference. That's
Logano,
a 26.
1926, closing in on his own track record.
He's going to run another one. He's going to play
second
another lap.
That's what I say. I just run till they throw the checker this time. '23 lowered it again.
Newman right now is second at a 19.29. Not showing green there, though. Goes to a 19.25, picks it up, but not enough.
And Logano 3/10 off his own track record set here 1 year ago. Newman trying to improve on a 25. He needs just 2 100ths of a second to take the pole from Logano, and falls off half a second.
Yeah, his car got a little sideways loose on him coming off the corner that time. Which tells you I'm out of grip.
Matt Kenseth Quickest round one.
We're already down to 2 minutes to go in this final round.
And only 6 drivers have posted a lap. Kyle Larson.
Kansas rolling pretty good there. Watched him go around 1 and 2. Had a good looking 1 and 2 as we watched Kyle Larson come to the line.
Larson's first lap was half a tenth better than Kenseth's first lap. Let's see how it plays out. Kenseth up to 5th on lap 2.
Now I heard somebody say shifting, and I'm not real sure what they were shifting. Interesting.
That sounded like Larson. Here's Casey Kane. And Jeff Gordon out now. Carl Edwards.
Saw Matt Kenseth. He slowed down on that lap. He's 5th quickest.
Larson car looks fast.
Tony Stewart 8th right now. Larson jumps up to 5th with a 42.
Jeff Gordon jumps to 8th.
Carl Edwards pulls in. He is 9th right now. Keselowski coming out and Allmendinger. They'll be the final 2 with a minute to go.
Comes that 24 car. Let's see what he's got laid up. A little bit squirrely off 4 right there. Let's see that.
4th for Jeff Gordon, 1939.
Same thing he did when he almost grabbed the pole in the first go round. A little bit loose off turn 4.
And I think he knows that's all he had. He would have had to pick up another 1/10 and a half to get up there where Joey Logano's at.
Stewart up to 9th. Allmendinger 12th right now with Keselowski 11th. But they've only each run 1 lap.
That 14 car is looking pretty good.
Trying to improve from 9th and a 1947. He gets to a 42. That'll put him 6th. Allmendinger up to 10th.
Stewart will get another lap in as we're down to about 11-10 seconds. It's going to be close on him.
The car just looks good. It rolls the center right on the curb.
He could get another lap in. Allmendinger 10th. Stewart slowed down a 10th.
Yeah, Stewart will get another lap in. A.J. Allmendinger behind him, he got the red and the black. He did not get a lap started.
So Stewart trying to pick up from 6th and a 1942. He's a little slower yet.
Yep.
And there is your pole winner. Joey Logano, 10th pole in his 225th start and his first at Martinsville.
It's a huge accomplishment here at Martinsville.
He becomes the 58th driver in NASCAR history to win a Sprint Cup pole here. It is his 2nd of the season. We all picked him, right?
Long shot. Well,
sure.
No, I thought he would have a pretty good shot.
Joey Logano's never won more than 2 poles in an entire season. He's already won 2 this year, and he'll share the front row with Ryan Newman, a Ford Chevy front row for Sunday's race at Martinsville. Let's have a look at the Can-Am ride of the day for today's pole winner.
Front row Joe right there. The new front row Joe.
It was quite a lap he laid down there. He actually beat 3rd place Mark Truex Jr. by almost a 1/10 of a second.
And his fastest lap in round 3 was the fastest lap of the entire qualifying session. All 3 rounds. That was the quickest one. Jamie?
Well, if you look at it, he qualified 3rd and 2nd here last year and now 1st. And you just told me if we rained out, you would have started 2nd, but that wasn't good enough for you. How happy are you? You got a shot at qualifying.
Yeah, Tad and I we were laughing this morning because it was raining. He's like, man, I wouldn't be mad if it just rained out and it was 2nd. I said, no, Tad, I want a shot at this thing. I want 2nd's not good enough. And we had our fast shell Penzo Ford once again in qualifying, and it's cool as I've come so close to getting a pole here at Martinsville. We've never been able to do it. We had the track record, but no pole, so it's kind of cool to be able to get the pole here. It's awesome. And I was laughing because that last run we ran 6 laps, and after the 5th lap, I held my breath for like the whole time, and I said, that's all I got. I got to breathe. I'm going to pass out. So usually you only run 1 or 2 laps, maybe 3 laps. So it's kind of crazy to run that many, but I wanted to make sure I was getting everything I could out of it.
If you look at your stats last year, short tracks have become your thing. How big would it be for you to win that clock here at Martinsville on Sunday?
This is definitely one of the big races that everyone wants to check off to say you've won at Martinsville and have that big clock sitting in your house. I think everyone talks about it when you come here, and such a historical racetrack. And so much fun to race around here. Sometimes very frustrating to race around here, but if it's going well, it'll be fun. And obviously starting up front gives us a chance to pace ourselves and take care of our car. 500 laps here is a long, long race, and having a good pit stall. Obviously, we've seen a lot of crashes on pit road here, so it should help being down towards that end and try to win it. Let's see what happens.
All right, Joey Logano, your pole sitter here at Martinsville. Let's go over to Chris.
And Ryan Newman going to start on the outside of the front row. And Ryan, right now, this team's just knocking down the top 5 finishes, so you guys just playing strength to strength right now.
Yeah, it was a good run for our Quick and Loan Chevrolet today. I wish we could have been just a tick quicker and got that pole, but, nevertheless, it's the best starting spot we've had, and obviously a great place to have a good starting spot. Pit selection's important and close. Proud of the guys. We'll just see what we can do with it on Sunday.
And how crazy is that pit lane? Why is it so important to get that good pit selection?
Because it's even tighter than a racetrack is, and you see how much we get into each other on the racetrack. So it's a place that you can gain or lose a lot of spots, and you want to have every advantage you possibly can.
Nice job.
A narrow pit lane. It's J-shaped, so coming into those last couple of pit stalls, boy, that is a tough one. Joey Logano, fastest today in Martinsville, Virginia. Welcome back to Sprint Cup qualifying on Fast Friday, presented by K&N. Here's the starting lineup for Sunday's 500-lap race. A Ford Chevy front row.
Look at our man, Martin Truex, starts third. Nice job.
We talked about it earlier. Tony Stewart just needed something good to happen, and this could be the beginning right here. Good qualifying effort in that 14 car.
I'll tell you, though, that 24 and 48, they're lurking behind that front row.
Couple past winners back there. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin. Past winners here, that is.
Good job by Paul Menard. He's had a good car all day.
Our old buddy, Kevin Harvick, he's going to have to put his work clothes on.
Yeah.
Starting back there in 17th.
Pull them gloves up over his elbows this week.
Casey Mears will have to start in the back if they have to change that transmission. It sounded like they would.
Yeah, they will.
Chase Elliott qualifies for his first ever Sprint Cup race.
Happy to make the race.
Kurt Busch, the winner from a year ago, starting way back on row 13, but he did start 36th the last time he won here before that race back in 2002.
Yeah, Boyer way back in the pack there, too.
Trevor Bayne got the last time trial spot from Cole Witt on. Those are the provisional starters. And there are the two drivers headed home. Let's join Chris Neville.
Well, Jimmy Johnson qualifying 5th, and Jimmy, obviously, you've got a good car for this weekend.
Yeah, we're excited about our race car. It's been real fast. It's no shock that I'm not the best qualifier that's out there. I do much better in a race situation. So to have the car here in the top 5 with this much speed in it on Friday is awesome. We get a good pit stall pick with that, and we'll go racing on Sunday, and this low Chevy will be just fine.
Yeah, looking for his 9th win here at Martinsville.
Carl Edwards makes it through all 3 rounds. You qualified 11th. Well, you seem pretty darn happy about it.
There were only 3 rounds. Felt like happy hour for us. We kept going out there, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit how happy I am with 11th. I mean, I've struggled here, and this is it's fun. We have a very fast Aris Toyota. It's I made a couple of mistakes and tried a bunch of different things, but Denny Hamlin helped me a ton this week. I kind of cornered him in the meeting room, and he spent a lot of time talking with me. And Dave and Darian and myself, we all discussed everything. And I think that these guys are helping me a lot. I'm really excited for 500 laps here to be able to settle in and try some of the things that I've been working on.
A top 10 would be huge for you, right?
Yes, a top 10 would be great. So, we just need to run all 500 laps. I need to really focus on, implementing all the things that have helped these guys do very well here. So, really fun. Excited to be here at JGR Toyota, and just a decent day for us. Thank you.
Guess Denny's the man.
And A.J. Allmendinger will be starting 10th, and A.J. obviously a good rebound after a tough weekend in Fontana.
Yeah, it's proud of the guys. Nothing we could have done last week. It's just one of those things. We had a fast car last week, so I was proud of that. But overall, Busch's Bean Chevy's been fast since we unloaded it. We'll see really once we begin tomorrow. Second practice, because I think first practice will be like 22 degrees, so second practice. But platform of the race car feels really good. The guys have worked hard to keep improving. So we're not quite there yet, but every weekend we keep getting better, and 500 solid laps hopefully on Sunday.
Thanks, Chris. Joey Logano has his second pole of 2015, and it's still a very young season. We'll be back to wrap things up for Martinsville.
This is short track racing at its finest.
It's classic Martinsville. It's going to get crazy.
In Martinsville, you got to battle for every inch.
Have at it, boys. The gloves are off.
This is a place that breeds frustration.
Oh, you got no friends. You're out there to win this race, and you have to do it on your own.
March Mayhem, Martinsville. Here are 3 things you need to know. Going into Sunday's STP 500, Chase Elliott qualifies 27th for his first career Sprint Cup start in the number 25. Joey Logano has his second pole position of the young season. And the Hendrick Chevrolets, 3 of the 4, will occupy positions 4, 5, and 9 on the starting grid. March Mayhem. That's what we talk about when we come to Martinsville. And I know you're just licking your chops getting ready for Sunday, because this is going to be anything but play nice, boys.
Yeah, I'd love this kind of qualifying, though. You know what?
Yeah.
This is one of those places where you really got to get in your rhythm with the braking and the gassing and hitting your marks and getting heat in your tires. A lot goes on in the driver's mind in a real short period of time. So I like the fact you go out there and get some laps, get up to speed, and get comfortable, and maybe you'll have the pole like Joey Logano. Larry, you can get your car tuned up and keep it tuned up for 500 laps. How do you keep your driver tuned up and keep him from getting frustrated?
Well, that's a big role that the spotter's going to play, because there's no question, emotions and feelings. I know I'm not the guy probably to be asking about that, but emotions and feelings can definitely make a difference here. But, Mike, no matter what, no matter how many laps you run tomorrow, these drivers and those crew chiefs, they know that this track is going to be different on Sunday, because it's going to be the warmest on Sunday, and you just got to go a lot off of experience. When I think about experience at Martinsville, I think about Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon, not to mention Tony Stewart. Those 3 drivers, great qualifying efforts, and 19 combined Martinsville wins between those 3.
Darrell, you won here so many times. What's the difference between aggressive and agitated?
Yeah, well, you got to pick your fights. You can't get in a scrap with everybody that bumps you a little bit, nerfs you a little bit, shoves you a little bit, takes your line away. You got to decide when it's worth fighting for, and you don't want to do that until you get down there at the end of the day, because the win is what it's worth fighting for then. But early on, let it go. You got to let it go, Larry.
I'll let it go.
Let it go.
I'll let it go.
Rarely does a car visit victory lane here unscathed. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got his grandfather clock here last year, and that, he said, was a career highlight. Joey Logano's our pole winner for Sunday's race. UFC Ultimate Knockouts coming up next.